Alright, before I get started in today's video, I just want to make all my viewers aware that I'm going to be conducting a series of giveaways to promote my Monkeycraft YouTube channel. And if that interests you, I'll have some more information later on in this video for you to check out. Hey, welcome back to Monkeycraft. This is Eric again. When we last talked in the last video, we had just set up the H2D, we had done initial benchy, and then I moved it over to here. Now, I thought today I was going to start out by going over the AMS HT, getting it out of the box. But as I was working, sort of last evening, getting ready to leave the shed for the night, I had a printing over here. I went by and checked on it. It's what I had. Not good. But a new learning experience, right? So I thought I'd start this video out by talking to this and telling you what I know so far. Okay, I'll update you as I learn more. So I looked at it. I couldn't tell what had gone wrong. I tried to go back and pull the time lapse, but I'm not sure that when I saw this, I immediately just stopped the print. I'm not sure if that canceled the time lapse because I went in to pull it to be able to look at it, and there wasn't one. I'm not sure why. So that's something I got to need to research, because that would have been key to finding out. If I could have gone back and found out what started this initially, that would help, but I lost that. So I need to do some background search on that. I'll let you know when I find out about that. But, so I cleared this out, right? And lowered the bed and tried to purge out some filament through the extruder. Nothing's coming out. So, well, at that point I knew I had a clog. Why I had the clog, or why I started, I don't know, but I knew I had a clogged nozzle. So this is what the nozzles look like. This is actually a new nozzle. And I removed the nozzle from the printer, and you pull off the little silicone shield, and then up underneath, this is the old nozzle. This is the hot end. This is the old nozzle. I had unscrewed it. I pulled this piece out, and it was screwed in like that, right? Which means this was the end. This is the end of the filament that when I told it to unload, that the printer cut. The printer cuts right across there. That would have been that length right there, cut across there. So I pulled this out. It wasn't really that stuck, but it came out. And you could see where the extruder gears have been running on it. So then I went in and I checked the filament that came back out, and you could see, I threw that piece away, but you could see there was an area where the gears had been going round and round on it, trying to push it, but it was clogged. Okay? That's what I'm trying to say there. After I put the hot end back in, I recalibrated it. Reran all the calibration. Then I pushed out the new filament, and it was extruding just fine here. So I ran the test print, and everything seemed good to go. And then I asked myself, maybe I had the wrong size nozzle. Okay, because these obviously come in different sizes. This was a .04, which is the stock nozzle that came with it. So I went online and I checked, did a query on what was the proper nozzle on the Centuri carbon to print the Elegoo. This was Elegoo PLA carbon fiber filament. And it came back and said, you could print it with 04, but you're better off with an 06 nozzle or larger because it would prevent any clogs from happening. So I said, well, that I knew now. I thought, well, I thought I knew. That was my problem. So when I put it back together, I'm sorry I didn't tell you this originally. Not a lot of order. When I put it back together, I put in an 06 nozzle, put it back together, leveled the bed, did the flow calibration, started this print again. Probably 2 or 3 hours in, I went to bed. Got up the next morning, and I had this. Right? Whatever. Big nest. Nothing but problems. Okay? All over the printer. I'm not sure why it's doing this. Okay? But again, the nozzle was clogged. So I went ahead and took the extruder back out, and sure enough, the nozzle was clogged again. This was a 06 nozzle, still clogged. And I was able to, when I unscrewed it, I could only unscrew it. When I unscrewed this from the hot end, this piece didn't come out. It was stuck in there. So then I took this small drill, it's the same size as the hole here, and I didn't ream it, I just pushed, and this piece popped out the bottom. So at that point, I wasn't sure what was going on. So at this, I came to the conclusion it must be something with this filament, this Elegoo PLACF or something. I'm not sure, because I've done about probably 15-20 hours of printing on it, and I had 0 problems. Okay? Although I did know that sooner or later it was going to pop up, and it did. But I decided that maybe it's this filament, right? Because I went ahead, put a new 04 nozzle back in, took it out, and I put in Bamboo's Lab PETG HF, okay? I ran a test print, I can't remember what I printed, but I ran a test print of something, and it looked all fine. Again though, before I ran the test print, I did full calibration. I flowed it, purged all this filament out, got the white filament in, did a test print, it looked just fine. So now again, I've gone ahead and I've started a reprint on this thing. And it actually seems to be printing beautifully. Let me get the camera around. There's a couple wisps on there, but so far it's printing pretty good. I'm going to bring the camera around, and then we'll move on. And we'll update you later on how this comes out. So right now, it appears to be printing just fine. Couple wisps I see, but overall it's looking great. But then again, I thought the same thing last night. This is about not quite where it failed last night after I had gone to bed. So it's probably got another hour to get in before it's at that point. But it seems to be going fine. I'll keep you guys updated on this. This is a 24-hour, 23-hour print anyway. Okay, let's move on. Well, just checking in on this print. It's about an hour before the last check-in and everything seems to be going well. We'll keep checking it. I'm going back to watching my Monday Night Football. I'm going to jump in here and give you a quick update this morning. Printers are running all last night. This is still going real well. Super pleased to see that. This is the print that failed twice on me when I was using that Elegoo PLA-CF that came to the printer. I don't like that. I had two printer nozzle clogged, and I fixed all that. Went back, switched over to this Bamboo Labs PETG HF, and it's printing just fine. Well, it's been a few days since I talked to you about the failed prints and the issues I was having with printing this item, but I thought it's time to circle back and review it, right? When we last talked, I was blaming the filament, right? And to a degree, I do blame the filament as being the cause of the problems that I was having. Since then, I printed multiple files on the Century Carbon with no issues, okay? So, what I've done, like I said, I want to circle back and readdress this. I've dried the filament in my filament dryer. For 8 hours at 55°C, which is Elegoo's recommended specs for drying this filament, right? Again, this is the PLA carbon fiber, right? And I was sort of thinking yesterday that I was sort of unfairly blaming the filament to a degree because I was blaming the brand and stuff. I didn't mean to do that. I didn't think that there's something wrong with the Elegoo PLA carbon fiber, but it was this roll of filament, right? I'm thinking it was wet, right? So I've dried it. Let's load it into the Elegoo Century Carbon, and I got a test print we can run here. I can't run this print again because there's not enough filament on the spool, but I've got a shelf file. Let's run the shelf file and see what the results are. Let's get her loaded up. All right, so I've got the filament in. I purged out some filament. I'm going to purge some more. One more time. Just to be sure, because what was in here was PETG. And I want to make sure that all that PETG gets purged out and the PLA carbon fiber is fully loaded in the machine. So it's taking it. As soon as it's completed the cycle, we'll go ahead and start to print. All right, so it's completed. We'll go in here and we'll grab the file that we're looking for here. We'll turn the time lapse on. And it started. We'll come back, take a look at it in a little while, see how it turned out. Well, the print's done. Let's take a look. Just a basic little shelf, but it printed perfect in that PLA CF. I'll bring it around so you get a little bit of a closer look. Printed just fine. No issues. Perfect. Just what I needed. So, what does that tell us? Well, it tells us that I was right in one respect, that it was the filament, and by switching to the other filament, it solved my problem temporarily. But it didn't solve the problem with using the filament which I had bought. Came with a printer. So, all I had to do was dry that filament, and then it printed fine. So that's really the lesson there. Okay, so learn from my mistake. I used that filament straight out of the package without running it through my dryer first. Had I dried it first, I wouldn't have had the problem. Or once I started, the first time it failed and I had the problem, if I'd have taken the filament out, dried it, then I would have had a successful print. So, well, I hope you learned something from that. I know I did. I'm going to carry it forward in my 3D print shop. So, I've got something else I'd like to share with you. We're running some promotions for the Monkey Craft channel, and I got a separate video clip that talks about that. Let's run that right now. If you're interested in participating in the giveaways that I'm conducting for my Monkey Craft YouTube channel, I have created a separate video that I've linked down below that has all the information for the giveaways, what's being given away, what you do to have to participate, the ground rules for it, everything. All that information is in that separate video that's linked down below. So if you're interested, would like to participate, try to win some 3D print stuff, click that link down. Well, let's get this plate cleaned up, get it back in the printer, and get on with the next print, right? Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you follow me in my follow-on videos. And please like and subscribe below. That's it for now. I'll catch you in my next video. Done.